Have you always dreamed of playing Paladins and spitting hot fireballs faster than a Mario abusing Fire Flower steroids? Well, you're in luck, as in OB54, matches are confirmed to get at least 100% hotter, as they'll be like normal matches, but with Fernando in them. Jokes aside, Fernando is literally on fire in OB54, and I've had a lot of matches now that have peaked the 100k damage mark and taken pretty much every accolade in the realm from my teammates, as I've gone on to make those hot plays. So, what's happened? Why is Fernando the self-proclaimed knight and waifu wooer back in business? Simply reducing the cooldown of his fireball this patch from 9 seconds to 6 seconds, alongside the speed the fireball is travelling at increasing from 140 to 180. So A, you'll be able to guarantee the hits more often, confirming the long disputed role as Flanknando. Though the biggest buff most fitting of Fernando's plumage is a massive buff to that cooldown. So you might be sat there like, 6 seconds, that sounds cool. But wait, there's more. Much more. Take Incinerate level 4, a rare card in Fernando's deck, and reduce the cooldown of Fireball by 40%. If we take that to the magic calculator, then you have a Fireball almost every 3.5 seconds. Seriously folks, wait, there's even more! Take Chronos as you start the game, and you have a Fireball just under 3 seconds. Get level 3 Chronos, and you have a Fireball every 1.8 seconds. Combine the cooldown with the legendary card Scorch, which increases Fireball's damage by 30%, then 30% for each successive person hit. You've got the chemistry just right for a battlefield full of enemies skewered into charred Fernando kebabs. In short, you can realise your dreams. No more Kamehamehaing in your bedroom and dreaming of reaching Super Saiyan. It's right here in this Fernando build. It is pretty much a Fernando machine gun fireball at this point, and honestly gives Fernando a lot of options this patch to engage at range, disrupt backlines, chase down pesky damage dealers, and I frankly think if this goes live, Flanknando will be reborn as quite the monster. If we delve a little bit into the past and patches hence, Fernando did have somewhat of a sub-story, being out of the meta for the longest time, having health nerfs, and never finding his own with legendary cards compared to some of the other champions' options. The last patch however raised his ability to engage at range, buffed his Flame Lance, and he was starting to turn up in matches here and there across the realm, and it really wasn't scoffed at in the lobby screen any longer. Now with the extra damage of his new semi-automatic fireball launcher, he's able to burn to a crisp anyone who says he isn't a real knight. Has it gone too far? Probably. I haven't seen a Fernando that hasn't performed extremely well and really disrupted the enemy team. There definitely seems to be a skew for a team with a Fernando to win if they have one, though Fernando versus Fernando seems more of a toss-up. Just having the recess from fireballs gives him so much damage potential to smash through squishier damage dealers, healers and flanks, plus giving you a pretty consistent stream of almost level 2 cauterize with a 50% heal reduction. I think getting into the role and playing as a Flanknando works at the moment, and it would be good on your team to have a defensive tank like a Ruckus or Barak to hold the fort on the point if needs be, whilst you head straight into the enemy team. The Torvald Fernando combo can definitely be quite funny too, with the Fernando getting shields and damage granted by Grandpa, both tanky as hell. And if not, just hope that your support can hold on to the point and maybe throw you some heals whilst you juggle a group of 3 enemies in their backlines. So what's the loadout I'm currently using to support this flank hella? Obviously Incinerate level 4 for the reduced fireball cooldown. Hot Pursuit is in my deck currently at level 2, which if you hit somebody with a fireball you run 20% faster as you have fireballs so often, and it will give you more chase potential. It was nerfed from 3 seconds duration to 2, but with the range of Flame Lance and your fireball it pretty much balances that out to be non-existent. Then Last Stand 4, which heals you 400 health each second whilst you have your shield up until you reach 60% of your health. This is a card which lets you dive into the backlines. If you do get low, then you put your shield up, back away or try and retreat whilst healing. Then at the end of it, if you weren't attacked from behind, you'll regen passively out of combat and you can come straight back into the fight again, full health. The 2 cards that I've got that can be changed in this loadout are Safe Travel, which gives you a 250 shield after you charge. I do like this, it gives you a bit more survivability in a fight, and I just like the little bit extra tankiness. The same with Cavalier 1, increasing max health by 150. This is probably the card that you can safely take out of this build, but I need to have a look and tweak more with the loadout. So I haven't played a lot of Fernando up to this point. I played him early on in the game, but have had a bit of a hiatus. The way I've been playing him is pretty exclusively dive bombing the backliners and anyone else caught up, saving myself when I'm low with the shield and Last Stand, either going out of combat or back to the point and my allies, and basically being flexible when allies are taken out or they're out of position, there's no one else standing on the point, and pretty much every start of the match approaching the enemies on one of the flanks, if possible, to try and trigger the criticals in a group of enemies clumped together in a hallway. Stonekeep is great for this, for example. Even with movement abilities, you can chase down things like a Cassie or a Lian because your Flame Lance reaches further, and you can charge, but also your fireballs allow you to pick off at range. I'm also much more liberal with the fireball, firing it off basically whenever I spot a maybe opportunity. It has a big projectile hitbox and isn't hard to hit if an enemy has already dodged and is at a medium range. And if you are in a long corridor or open space and enemies are miles off, you may as well just spaff it off down there and hope it to hit something, because you'll have it back before they can travel to you anyway. On items, Kronos is a nice pickup, to level 2 perhaps, but the cooldown isn't too much of an issue, but it's definitely more fun. And although normally being able to spread consistent damage across an area and sets of enemies with a lance, Cauterize was a vanilla pickup. With your fireball, you have 50% reduced healing to those enemies hit anyway, which makes it less of a big deal early game, and even late game it's like a Cauterize level 2 almost. Though against 2 healers you might still want to pick up the Cauterize as things really go out of control towards the late game. Anyway, that was pretty much me covering the revival of meta-pick Flanknando. I honestly don't know how long he'll stay like this. Maybe it'll turn out that it actually works out and it's okay, but if you want to get addicted to the Fireball Daka, be sure to check him out on the OB54 public test server and live if he does make it out there this way. What does everybody else think? Is it too good? Are you a Fernando main and salivating right now, or do you have a different opinion? Be sure to let me know in the comments section below. If you thought this video lit a Flanknando-sized fireball in your icy and Nara-skinned heart, then throw it a like. Subscribe for more of my content, and thank you all very much for watching. Until next time everybody, Joshino.